Hey guys, Czar here. Good morning to you. Hope all is well. Trust you're having a good morning. Happy hump day. It is Wednesday, November 13th, and we're about 2.5 minutes away from the open here on New York. We have had the CPI data come out. There was a bit of a reaction here. You can see this big spike and then just a kind of a grind back into reality. And really not a huge move, quite frankly, based on historical measures. Let's take a look at the 30-minute chart here on the NASDAQ. Sent this to my group here before the open. If you're not a member of the group, click the link below. You can join the free Telegram channel and get these zone charts before the market opens. But you can see that we have this fairly significant resistance area here from yesterday from the UK, New York crossover. And that respected what came before, in fact, and now again on that spike up on the CPI news at 8:30, and then rejected down pretty violently, in fact, and now meandering of the span of travel of that candle as we head towards the open in about 1.5 minutes. That's the 30-minute chart, guys. This is the daily up here in the top left. Tell you what, let's start with the daily frame. There's the daily frame, guys, daily chart for both the NASDAQ and the S&P. Another inside day here. We've been kind of grinding sideways here from a daily perspective on the NASDAQ. Also an inside day on the S&P after the big 1, 2, 3 day massive celebration of the Trump victory from the market. And now we're just kind of pausing and grinding a bit here, which is to be expected, of course, after a big move like that. All big moves will eventually produce some kind of a pullback or a pause or a congestion or consolidation, a range, a sideways grind, so many different ways to say the same thing. But it's an elastic that's been pulled too far and now it needs to kind of rest a little bit here. And that's what we're seeing. And that needs to be factored in, of course, to your decisions throughout the day as to whether that's going to continue or if we're going to see a break beyond, let's say, yesterday's lower high, or even some interesting structure on the lower time frames here throughout the day. These are the 1-minute charts, NASDAQ and S&P, sitting right on VWAP, volume weighted average price, which has been respected once, twice, and now 3 times here so far on the NASDAQ, and something similar on the S&P. I'll bring you back, guys, after the 1-minute open range has been settled, and we'll take it from there. All right, guys, we're 30 seconds into the open here, forming the 1-minute open range as we speak. We have that neutral posture on the daily, really a doji style candle so far, with the body right in the middle of the span of travel, wicks either side. This is a neutral stance. I can take longs or shorts depending on what my model dictates based on the lower time frames. But we are stuck in the middle of this range here again, below those fairly key resistance areas. I'm going to be very patient here, guys. I have been this week, 2 days. This week, what's today? Yeah, so yesterday was a no trade morning for me, and I believe Friday was a no trade day for me as well. And those videos, of course, are on YouTube for you to watch. Inside the open range here, guys. Back to the 1-minute chart. Same thing on both. Very narrow range on the S&P for the 1-minute open range. Yeah, 2 3/4 points, less than 3 points on that range. And on the NASDAQ, 26 points, which is almost nothing. So this is a very quiet morning indeed so far. I'm going to sit and just relax. Pushing up here, guys, on the NASDAQ, but kind of hanging around the bottom of the open range on the S&P. A little mixed bag. Really a lackluster feel to the open here, guys, as you can imagine. Less than 3-point range on the S&P and less than 30 on the NASDAQ, 27 points. Back into the open range on the S&P, trying to drop down below. Still hanging around here above VWAP on the S&P. Trying to make new lows again here on the NASDAQ. But very lackluster, guys. There's not a whole lot going on here. In the context of the daily, of course, we are dead center here of yesterday's range. Same thing on the S&P. In fact, the S&P has a slightly bullish body, just marginal. Looking to drive down here, guys, but I'm not touching this. As long as we're inside this range, very similar to yesterday, As long as we're inside of this piece here, I'm likely not to touch anything. So just because we break down here below does not mean I'm entering. In fact, I'm not. There it goes, guys. So let's see if it can mount a really good sell-off here, or if it's going to put in some structure. All right, guys, so pulling all the way back to the open range here. Lots of movement, but not a lot of advancement. And the grind continues here, guys. Nothing going on. Looks like we want to get back up and just kind of hug VWAP, volume weighted average price here for the session. All right, guys, just watching here. As you can see, we are below open range and below VWAP on both NASDAQ and S&P, but look at this choppy, unattractive mess. This is not rhythmic. This is not smooth or clean price action, in my opinion. And so there's nothing for me to do here. And even if we broke below here, guys, we would be slamming right into this zone. It's not a particularly key zone, but right below it is this one, which is very key. So this whole area could be important, probably is important, in fact. And so the stack of units of conviction would not be favorable enough for me to call this an optimal trade setup if we broke down below, especially given the indecision here on the daily chart. There it is, guys, dropping down now. Not touching it. This is the 30-minute chart, guys. As you can see what we're doing right here. This is one of the main reasons why I did not enter on a breakdown, coupled with the lackluster neutral daily. If we were in clean traffic here, guys, I would potentially consider a short below this low, but we are not in clean traffic, not yet. And there it goes, guys, breaking down below now. We're watching this 30-minute chart. All right, guys, so rejecting fairly violently off of this zone here. Been sending my Telegram group pictures and notes of what's happening here. And I think we're probably getting quite a good laugh given that very important zone there. Boom, rejected violently. Right on cue. Still no trades for me here, guys. Just watching. Dropping down to the 30-second chart. All right, guys, sell stop order below the current candle low, current live candle low, stop above, prior pivot right there. Here we go. Looking for a quick 1 hour here, but only if we break down below. If we don't break down below, of course, there's no trade for me. I'm going to clean out this zone, guys. It's no longer relevant. Looking for a rounding over here and just a partial retracement of this leg, guys. I certainly am not gunning for another attempt at the key zone here. This is just a partial move after an extended correction retracement. And I'm in, guys, and I'm in. Short the NASDAQ, first trade of the day after being very patient and feeling like I was missing something here. And obviously did miss a move here, but trying to be smart about timing my decisions. So why am I short? Well, we have now flipped bearish on the daily candle, looking to test yesterday's low. That, of course, is yesterday's low. We've already tested it, pulled back, nice orderly pullback into the 21, little micro double top, break down below these two candles. Looking for a partial move back of this leg, not even gunning for a full retracement of this leg because that zone is so key. It's 10:22 a.m. Looking for my first trade completion of the day after a no trade morning yesterday and almost a no trade morning today. No guarantees, still not moving my stop to break even here, guys. I really want to see this thing play out without any stop outs, given the messiness here, the whippiness. In other words, this could absolutely come all the way back and play in here before dropping down or stopping me out. Either way, I'm here for the duration. All right, guys, now I am moving my stop to break even. We have a series of lower highs. If we break above this one, that would break that sequence. And so now my stop is at break even. And there it is, guys, stopped out at break even after all that. Of course, what I'll do, guys, as always, is to allow the video to play out so that we can see in hindsight if it was a resourceful decision to move my stop to break even on a dynamic basis. We'll let this play out and I'll bring you back. And just about to be stopped out at the original stop loss, guys. Of course, we are out at break even here, moving my stop to break even only after a series of lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, and then able to lock in near break even on that one. And there it is, guys. Thanks for being with me. This is one of those times when dynamically shifting to break even saved me or prevented me from taking a 1R charge. So still break even on the day today. Have an amazing afternoon. We'll talk soon.